Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. This is the very first episode of a series we are doing called Matt's Must-Haves. And they are all of the tools that I think every guitar builder needs to have that they can just pick up and start using. They're tools that I use every single day. And believe me when I say I use them every single day. I use all of these tools each and every day. So the tool list is not going to be great big industrial tools. In fact, I'm going to urge you to source those on the secondary market rather than with Amazon. But I get a lot of people ask me about the tools that are spread out here before you and links to buy those tools and where did you get them, etc. So the purpose of this video, the purpose of all of these videos is going to be show you what tools I think you guys absolutely have to have, and then give you a link to those tools. Now, I'm not going to include pricing because I don't know if they're going to be the same price a year or 5 from now as they are today, but I will give you a link, at least will get you started. So today we're going to talk about tools to measure stuff with, and obviously you're going to need a tape measure, but I think you guys know where to get a tape measure, right? So anyway, I want you to have a tape measure. You know where to get one of these. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the stuff that might be a little trickier to find. A quick description of what it is and what you are going to do with it. And remember, links for all of these tools are in the description below. I'm also starting a blog on the website that'll be Matt's Must-Haves. So if you ever wonder, boy, did I get all that stuff? It'll all be on the website blog, and that's at texastoastguitars.com. Okay, enough with that bullshit talk. Let's get down to business and start talking immediately about the tools I think you guys have to have. The measuring tools I think you ought to have. All right, first and foremost, I believe that you absolutely, positively have to have a precision straight edge. Now, don't be fooled. You can do a lot with a yardstick, that you buy at the home center, but this is not a precision instrument. A precision ground straight edge is dead flat on this side here. In fact, you can even see it's almost been sharpened. And this is something that you will use all the time for stuff like, let me show you here on this body blank. So you will need to have a center line. That's where your precision straight edge will come in. You will need to, when you get your neck set in, it's really nice to draw some, put this other side up against your neck and draw some lines, some angled lines, and just confirm your center line. Make sure that your center line is still the center, and if you need to change it, then you change it, okay? So you absolutely have to have a precision straight edge, you guys. The next thing that you're going to absolutely have to have is a protractor. Now, I can't speak for the rest of your geometry class from high school, but this teeny tiny tool is something that you will use all the time. Drawing a perpendicular line to your center line is super crazy important. You'll do it all the time. The link to this has like a pack of 3 or something. And the reason I included 3 is because you will always lose these. They always walk away. So get a bunch of them and just have them. They are literally, every corner of the shop has 10 of these in it because we use them so much and they're always never where you think they're gonna be. Okay, this is a cool tool here. This is a centering ruler, and this is a neat tool that I think you ought to have. You'll notice that it doesn't go from 1 to 12. It actually goes from 0 to 6 and 0 to 6. A centering ruler is really handy for laying out things like, for example, laying out pickups on your center line. This, by the way, is a piece of ambrosia maple that could be turned into something like this single cutaway Paul Reed Smith style guitar. That would be cool. So yeah, you want to be able to measure, to make sure that your center line is working with all of the other things that that work off the center line. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, the center line is so important. You need to always know where your center line is. Okay. All right, so centering ruler, these things are not, they're not expensive, and they are definitely worth the price. Now, one thing that I always get mixed up with my centering ruler is this little guy here. This is a nut slot finder. And the back in the old days, when I was at Roberto Van, we just sort of made all of the string spaces on the nut equidistant. Well, that's fine if all of your strings are exactly the same thickness, but because your strings are not, you know, like a guitar would go from 10 to 46. So as the string thickness gets wider, it needs a little bit more room to look right, or else you're gonna look like the high strings or the thinnest strings got a lot of room, and the thicker strings are all squished together. So you don't want that. This nut slot, what is this called here? This is called a string spacing rule, and it's available from lots of places. Of course, remember, details of where you can buy it in the description below, okay? All right, I got a couple more, and then we're getting into the good stuff here. A Machinist scale. This little 6-inch ruler is so cool. I use it for almost everything. I spread peanut butter on a sandwich with it today, but you can measure stuff with it too. It's got a bunch of different gradations, so you can go from it's all in inches, and it's got like 64ths and 32nds and hundredths and thousandths or something. It's got lots and lots of stuff. The one in the description below has a couple of these guys, and these are awesome. They're also real bendy, so I mean, you don't want to bend it in half, but they will kind of conform around some things. And if you ever see mine, you notice there's a bunch of gype on the ends. That's because I use it to scrape wet glue out of things. When you glue up like a neck joint, you want to scrape this part here with the scale. You will find tons and tons and tons of uses for these guys. This Machinist square is, I have lots and lots of squares. I have a drawer full of squares. 9 times out of 10, this is the one that I reach for. This is also the one that Chris reaches for all the time. So in the description below, I've included a listing for 2 of these, because if you can't find yours, it's probably on Chris's bench. So these guys are really cool. The nice thing about these squares is, of course, you can do, they don't have the great big thick mass on the end. So you can lay it on something flat and draw a perpendicular line, or you can come over to like the edge of the board, and if you can use your you can transfer your center line onto the edge of the piece you're working on, whether it's flat or what. So this is really handy for that. If your table's flat, you can put that on there, and boom, you're golden. So these guys, another one of those tools that seem to walk off a lot. So if you have more than one, you're doing good. All right, couple more. This is the tool that I probably get asked about more than any other, and I think I got this at Harbor Freight many years ago, like 10 years ago. And what it does is it shows you what the contour of whatever you're working on happens to be. So this is super awesome for necks. So say, for example, you want to know what the contour of this neck is, you can put this gauge on there, and it will show you. Now, the downside to this tool is, you see how it kind of it fell. So the tool that I want you guys to get is one that I have upgraded to as well, and it's this guy right here. Now, it's a little bigger, and it's a little bigger, and it's a lot better, okay? So let me show you how this guy works. So, there. All right, so you take it out of the package, and you get this wrench, and you throw it away because you won't need it. So this is basically the same thing, only it's 10 inches long. You'll notice that it has some ruler marks on there. If that's something that's cool to you, you can use those. This is actually tightenable so that you can, you know what I mean? You can make it fit snug like that. It also has a lock, so you can actually lock the profile in. And the lock is metal, and the inside workings of this tool are also metal. Now at this point you're probably like, well, hey, why don't I just go to the home center and get the one that's all metal? Because those tines fall out all the time, and this guy here was a little bit less than the metal one, and I've had a dozen metal ones, and they always break or lose pieces. This is a better tool, and this is the superior tool. I recommend that you get the 10-inch one, because if you guys ever start to do like carve tops, you can use this to you know, carve top here and then flip it over, and carve top here, and does it match? You can go this way, this way, this way. This is an excellent tool, and I want you to have one of these. If you're building your own necks, you gotta have one of these. If you're building arch top guitars, carved top guitars, you gotta have one of these. And get the one with the all metal components. And when you are thinking about how awesome it is, remember to thank your old buddy Uncle Matt, and yeah, it will not let you down. Okay, I've got one more tool that I want you guys to have for measuring stuff, and that is a set of calipers. This used to be the set that we wanted everybody to use. This is these are built by these are made in the USA by some company. These are awesome, and because they're dial, they're gone now. Like, nobody wants dial calipers. They all want LCD display. But these guys were good. They were fairly cheap. But they like the little locking piece seemed to always bust. Here's a set that we have that we put a screw in just so so that it would be there. But these are great because they do they read in fractions. You can get millimeters on the actual scale here. You can get fractions or tenth or hundredths of an inch on the dial. But the dial is old school, and out with the old, in with the new. You guys might be familiar with the StewMac set of calipers here. That's this guy. These are they say these are designed specifically for guitar making. Now, basically it's a regular set of calipers. These are stainless steel, but it's a regular set of calipers. It's got two features that are of particular interest to guitar builders. One is this little notch right here. That is what you can measure fret tang depth or length of fret tang with. The other is this wee notch back here, and that is to measure fret crown with. Now, I bought a set of these, and they've been they also do, let's see, they do thousandths, fractions, and metric. So that's kind of cool, because I switch from metric to thousandths to fraction and back again all the time. So these are pretty neat. I got a set from StewMac Free. They had a promotion the other day, and it's kind of the cheaper version. It's plastic, but let's see, it reads in inches and metric. Doesn't do fractions, that's no big shake. But it's nice to have. It does have the little notch for the fret tang and the little dome here for the fret crown. But they're kind of I don't know. They just don't. There was a reason StewMac gave them away. They're neat, but they're not. How about this? I'm not even sure these are a replacement for these orange guys here, but they're the closest thing for price is going to be to these orange ones that you can't find anymore. But I do have a solution for a replacement for these guys at lower cost. And they are stainless steel. They read in inches and fractions and millimeters. They come in a nice case. And like I said, they're stainless steel. So these are very, very much like the StewMac ones. except you'll notice they don't have the little notch in the teeth here, and they don't have the little groove in the ass end here. Now, I'm going to get to why I don't think that's a big deal right now. If you're building guitars from scratch, you won't use this feature or this feature very often. If you're doing repair, yeah, maybe. But anyway, so these are good. These are like $60. These are half or less, and they offer all the same features except for they don't have the little notch here and they don't have the thing here. But what I want you guys to see is, all right, so I'm going to turn it on here and I'm going to zero. So we are going to, come on now. It's hard to do this because I'm, all right, so right there, what does that say, Chris?
1.759.
Okay, so let's zero these guys out and put them like right up on the board. What do these say?
1.763. There you go, 1759.
Okay, so you can see these give you the. I wonder what these guys do. Let's see what these bad dudes do here.
Those won't read. Yeah, they'll read that way. No, they won't. 1.76.
Any better?
7.5.
Let me come this way.
7.5.
Okay, so
yeah, they don't give you the.
Yeah,
the 100th.
Oh, okay. But what I want you guys to see that I'm not a super huge fan of with the StewMac ones. Okay, let's use old tried and true here. These guys read, what does that read? We're right on the center line, right on the edge here.
1 and 3/4.
1 and 3/4.
1.75.
Okay. Now let's look at the. Okay, now we've got the not StewMac ones. Oh, you know why? Haha. Okay.
1.744.
Okay, so that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Now, so what I was doing before, as I was holding it, it was on this little keeper for the.
Oh.
Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the StewMac one. So let's zero it out. Okay, we're zeroed, and it was 1.75, 1.74 something.
Yeah.
All right, now I want you to see what.
1.82.
Now, how can these be that far off? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's all because of this notch right here. If you don't remember to zero out the calipers by going down to that notch there. All right, now let's zero it out. Now let's do it again, and I bet you we'll be pretty close.
1.74.
Yeah. So if you don't remember to do that, you can get a depth measurement that is off when you use the StewMac ones. You just got to remember, or you can save yourself a little bit of money and not have to worry about it and go with these guys, which is what I recommend. And you know what? I got nothing but love for StewMac. You guys know that. And if I was able to shill for StewMac, I would do it in a second. I've got lots and lots and lots of StewMac tools. You guys already know that shit. But anyway, I recommend these calipers. Look, they even come with an instruction sheet. You can just shit can that. You don't need that. Because we're Americans, right? Or you can save it if you are English. I don't know what you do. That was a ding at Ben. I'm sorry, Ben. We love all of the people who don't live in the United States who watch our channel. I'm just messing with you guys. Okay, gang. So that is it for episode 1. That's a lot of tools. Everything is listed in the description below. You can buy it, you can get it, you can start putting it into action right away. And believe me, everything that I showed you today is something that you'll use over and over and over again every day. And if you can't find it, it's on Chris's bench. Don't forget. All right, guys, if you have any question about what I did in this video, what I showed you in this video, here's what I got from Chris. If you have any question about what we talked about in the video, please leave them in the comment section below. You can always email me at texastoastguitars.com. I always get all those emails. If you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys neat stuff like this. But if you can't do Patreon, we totally get it. Just give the video the thumbs up. That always helps us grow the channel. Share the video as many places as you can think of. Help us grow the channel that way. Remember, everything that I've showed you is there's a link to an Amazon page, and you can just buy the tool right then and there, and you'll be set up. And until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. I know you guys are. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.